everybody, we're here with Pamela Romanowsky, the director and writer from the Adderall Diaries. Welcome to Minnesota again. How are you feeling tonight?
Thank you. I feel great. It's good to be home.
Yeah, it's good to see you here. Now, we learned a little bit that Minnesota's kind of your hometown. Talk to us about where you're from and where you're headed now.
Not even kind of. I'm from St. Cloud, Minnesota.
Okay.
Born and raised, went to McAllister, so I lived in St. Paul for college.
Okay.
And then have been in New York since.
Okay, so you're in New York now, and you're doing a whole lot of writing, directing. Talk to us about the Adderall Diaries. What are we going to see tonight?
Sure. The Adderall Diaries is my first feature film.
Okay.
It's based on a book by the same title and was a really interesting adaptation. The book is sort of strange in form. It wasn't like an obvious cinematic adaptation. So I had it took me 2 years to develop the script before we shot. A year of that I spent at the Sundance Institute. They do the Screenwriters Lab, the Directors Lab. I did the Sound Design and Composing Lab at Skywalker. So I spent a lot of time in Utah at a ski resort with really incredible people. That's where I met Ed Harris, who I had written the part for, never imagining I would meet him, but there he was, handed down from fate. Met Robert Redford, who became a really important mentor and is an EP on the film. Joan Tewksbury, who wrote Nashville, was our writing mentor. Some really incredible people there. Yeah. So
it sounds like you've had a lot of people be influential in your life. You've got a really cool cast. Maybe talk to us briefly about who's in the film.
Yeah. I had such a great cast. It was incredible to work with them. One of my acting teachers, Joan Darling, said that a great actor is like a high-speed train. So the smallest adjustment at the beginning of a scene will leave you somewhere completely different by the end of it. And I had two high-speed trains in the form of James Franco and Ed Harris, who are incredible. It's such a gift to be able to watch them and to work with them. They're obviously incredible actors and really generous people. They're also both directors, so I think they're especially attuned to, giving me what I needed and, not ever hedging or compromising. It was really like, we're here and so we all feel good about it. They're really committed, super talented people. And then I had Amber Heard, Christian Slater, Cynthia Nixon, all were incredible. And two really amazing younger actors. Timothée Chalamet plays the younger James, and Danny Flaherty plays the younger Jim Perrick. They're both really, really talented and worked so hard.
Cool. I know you did the writing and the directing. Talk to us just briefly about the writing. What's the process like for that? Is it months, years? I know you talked about mentorship. Talk to us just briefly about that process.
The process is a mess. I'm always like, when I talk to other writers who are like, oh, well, I do the following. I'm not one of those. It was my first full-length script, so I had, it was like me in an insane like serial killer map with like yarn and thumbtacks and it's really interesting because I had the book, but the book is about real people, and those real people are crazy, and they're also really narcissistic, and they love to write about themselves, which for me is a great gift to have. So I had Stephen's book, I had his other writing, I had a ton of sort of essays he's written. He has this really cool online lit magazine called The Rumpus, and so he writes extensively on there. His dad is also a writer, and so the primary conflict of the film is that Stephen and his dad don't agree about what happened between them. They have this shared history, and it's very different. And so some of the facts line up, but the way that they tell the story using those facts is entirely different. So one of the main sort of creative touch points I realized along the way is like, this is the conflict, and these two men are using the same story to cast themselves very differently. And what happens when you have two people who are like, I'm the victim and you're the villain. No, I'm the victim and you're the villain. So, these two people fundamentally can't agree. And I had all of this writing to sort of understand what psychology would land you in either of those positions. So I've spent so much time sort of thinking about these people and trying to put myself in their shoes and then imagining scenes, outside of the book that would sort of allow them to realize something they haven't in real life.
Well, that is awesome. Sounds like a lot went into this. Now, as far as the directing side, how many days of production are we talking? What were some maybe big takeaways from you being the director?
We shot 25 days in New York City, kind of all over, every borough. We hit Yonkers, that's where that courthouse is. And directing is incredible. I think of it as like when you're in the car and the GPS is like yelling at you. It's like recalculating. So that's what it feels like to me to direct, is that you know where you want to go and you have these people with you, and it's your job to communicate. Like, listen, this is where we're going. This is how we're going to get here. This obstacle is here. This obstacle is here. And we're going to have to do this. And then the location is different. It rains. We had. There was one day we were about to shoot, and this like DNR guy showed up and was like, so a pair of rare ducks has nested and we can't allow you to shoot here. And we were like, really? All right. So everyone gets in the car. We look for like a different spot that kind of works, and it's beautiful. The place we shot ended up being great, but it's all kinds of like weird things that happen. And so it's just learning to know what's really important and what the scene is about. And then how do you tell that with the tools that you have, which change all the time in indie film.
It's awesome. So a lot of improv on the spot, even maybe go with the flow. We're doing this now.
Certainly
There's some rare ducks, and we got to change it up.
Yeah.
What's next for you? What's up next? Or you're probably going to enjoy this night. Obviously tonight a whole lot. You got friends and family here. It looks like kind of here to support you. Yeah. Any other projects that you've got coming up?
Yeah, I'm working on a dream project of mine. It's an adaptation of a book by Chuck Palahniuk called Rant. It's about recreational car crashing and time travel, and is really incredible.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, we're excited to see the film tonight. Thanks for being here with us.
My pleasure.
Any last words of advice to some up-and-coming directors or actors that might be watching this at some point? Anything that you could offer to them?
Yeah, I think my best advice to new filmmakers is that you have to be relentless, and so you should look out for the people and the things that help make you feel relentless, because you're going to need that.
Well, thanks, Pamela, for being here. We're really looking forward to seeing the Adderall Diaries tonight. Have a great night.
Awesome. Thanks. You too.